It's over. It's over. A wonderful, great ride that the San Francisco 49ers enjoyed this season has officially come to a close finally. Niner Empire, including myself, we have nothing to be ashamed of as far as the season goes. Nobody, or I should say, some people didn't expect the Niners to win the division. A lot of people said we'd be one and done, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people were shocked that we got to the NFC title game, let alone finish 13-3. And Harbaugh did a really good job. I mean, there's not much I can say about that. I mean, lockout, no training camp. Well, you did have your training camp, but I mean, like, no mini camps, no OTAs, and not that much time to work with a new core, and somehow he made it work. This is pretty much, with the exception of a few acquisitions, the same team that we had last year, the same team that a lot of people picked to win the NFC West. But, of course, it all goes back to coaching. Singletary just didn't know what the fuck he was doing. So, overall, a very heartbreaking loss, to the New York Giants. I mean, if we would have lost the way the Packers lost to the Giants the previous week, I'd be bitter, but, hey, the Giants were the better team that day. But when you play a game knowing that you could have won that game, or I should say should have won that game, and the game just slips through your fingers like that, that's a tough one to swallow. It was basically reliving the 1990 NFC Championship game over again, except instead of Roger Craig fumbling, it was Kyle Williams twice. But I'll get into the game into the second. But it was basically deja vu for me, longtime Niner fan that I've been. But congratulations to the New York Giant fans, Giants Mafia, Big Blue Commission. Shout outs, Cop Pizzle, Mitos, New York Giant Pride, Eric Pac B, my boy Mr. Batch TV. I'm kind of flaming on. Schlep One, what's up, player? And I meet the Mets, meet the Amazings. I know there's a lot of you Giant fans out there that rep on here on YouTube. Whether you're making videos or whether you're typers, shout out to you guys. And as expected, when the Niners and Giants meet in the postseason, it's always a classic doozy. And both teams really wanted it bad. I could see it, but unfortunately, a couple mistakes by Kyle Williams was our undoing, and that gave you guys a game. So, shout out to the Giants fans, and good luck the rest of the way. And it doesn't include some of these fake trolls that are coming and, commenting on my past vids after the fact. They don't say shit before the game, but, after what happened, now they want to start pumping their chest, and start being brave and shit. Yeah, that's real classic right there. I can't take y'all motherfuckers seriously, but you know what? Do whatever the fuck you do, but, but also don't come on here and think that I owe you crow just because the Niners lost. Now, I get up on here, I do it out of respect. And now that I think about it, there's been times throughout this season where I've saw, if you have a guilty conscience, and obviously I'm talking about you, but I've seen other people who didn't crow for the 49ers, and I didn't say shit. I'm just saying. So for y'all to come up here and expect me to give y'all crow like I owe y'all something, get the fuck out of here. Take that crow and shove it up your motherfucking ass. If I am doing this, I'm doing it for the video makers and there's a few Giants hypers on here that are really cool with me. So, you know, respect to y'all. And, you know, and if you're troll and, you know, you started talking before the video and you're pumping, you know, your chest after the fact, fine. You know, hey, you know, at least you were brave enough to start talking shit before the game. But if you save all that shit after the fact, fuck off. You know, just get the fuck out of here. You know, do whatever the fuck you gotta do. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But you know what? I crow up whenever the fuck I please. And before I get into this game, first off, a big apology to everybody out on YouTube. You know, Niner Empire, Giants Mafia, everybody, and those of you that's been watching me for a while, you know that win or lose, regardless of what happens, I am always, if not the first one, always one of the first to get up on here and do a video. And obviously it's, you know, 4 days after the fact, and some people are like, where's Dizzle, man? Did he jump off the Bay Bridge? Golden Gate Bridge? You know, Danny Golding will be like, oh, you okay, dude? Yes, I'm fine, D-Shot. But, you know, I was having, you know, I was having some issues with my computer, and Sunday, I really couldn't feel that I could get out what I really wanted to say. Not even sure if I can in this video. You know, I said what I wanted, so I was going to go in and do it Monday or Tuesday, and then, you know, my dad ended up getting sick and got taken to the hospital. He's okay now, but, you know, it was kind of scary, you know, because, you know, my dad's going on 60, and you only get one father, and I'm not ready to say goodbye to my father. So, you know, those are a couple reasons why I haven't got on here and done my crow video yet. And you know, like I said, for you Giants video makers, you know, out of respect, I feel I owe you something. But to some of these faggot ass trolls that come, especially after the fact, I don't owe them shit. I don't owe them shit, and I don't owe them an explanation for anything. But hey, you know, I'm letting y'all into my life and letting you know what was going down my way. So that's why I haven't been on here. But here I am, ready to do my fucking crow. So let's get it out the way. And there's a lot of places I could begin. I could start with, obviously, Kyle Williams. And everybody remembers the last fuck up you did. And he did it. And it obviously wasn't his best game. And, you know, when I woke up Sunday morning and I heard that Ted Ginn wasn't going to be playing, I started feeling, something just wasn't feeling right. Because I just don't trust Kyle Williams back there. I trust him more, not that he's done much as a receiver, but for some reason I trust him more as a receiver than I do fielding punts, because it just seemed like, especially against the Giants, when he was fielding punts, I just had to, you know, just hold my breath. You know, there was the one that bounced off his knee, which I just thought was crazy, where he's telling everybody on the Niners special teams to stay out of the ball's way, yet he's running into the eye of the fucking storm. What the fuck kind of shit is that? And then it grazed his knee, and Giants get a touchdown after it. And then the second one, well, you know, I could sit here and say that he should have held on to the ball better, but, you know, credit to the Giants special teams. I mean, homie stripped it right. And there was your ball game right there. And there was a couple other times. There was another punt that he fielded that he actually leaked out to try to catch it, and he caught it. He didn't fumble or anything, but, you know, I had to hold my breath right there. And then there was another play where we tried to do a reverse on offense, and he fumbled right there, and luckily he fell on the ball. So obviously it wasn't Kyle Williams' best game. And speaking of not best games, where the fuck was Michael Crabtree? I didn't hear Michael Crabtree's name. Hell, Michael Crabtree didn't even come into my thoughts until the fourth quarter. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, where the hell is Crabtree? Is he even in the game? One catch for fucking 3 yards. And y'all can sit here and you can say, you know, Alex was either, you know, not throwing the ball well. Speaking of Alex, he only had 2 good passes. both to Vernon Davis, which resulted in touchdown, and then like maybe a screen to Frank Gore where Frank Gore got a nice game. But other than that, I was just, amazed that, receivers were running routes short of the first down. Alex Smith was throwing passes short of the first down. Do any of you motherfuckers know where the first down marker is? I mean, I'm serious. I mean, if the first down marker is right there, I'm gonna make sure I get in front of the first down marker, so help give my defense a break. But that's just me, and I just just thought that was funny that people didn't know where the first down marker was, and Alex Smith, bless his heart, he did everything he could. He didn't have a terrible game, but he didn't have a great, especially not like when he had against the Saints. I mean, it wasn't his best game. Frank Gore did what he could and averaged 4.5 yards a game. And another thing that shocked me was why we weren't going to the running game as much. We ran for, I think we ran for 150 yards total, and I don't know why we weren't sticking with the run. The Giants weren't stopping it as much, in my honest opinion. And the passing game wasn't working as much as we was hoping. And I just don't understand why we was going away from the run at certain times when it pretty much was working for the most part all game. It doesn't help that we go 1 for 13, 1 for 14 on third down conversions. You know what? We need another receiving threat. We just do. We can't keep depending on Vernon Davis and Delanie Walker to keep bailing us out. Michael Crabtree, towards the end of the season, he was turning it on, and it seemed like he was starting to get it. But in the playoffs, he was non-existent. Against the Saints, he had a touchdown catch, but dropped like 3 or 4 passes. And then against the Giants, 1 catch for 3 fucking yards. I mean, you talk about you want to be the big fish or whatever, but if you want to do that, you're going to have to work extra hard this offseason if you want people to take you seriously and if you want to be known as the #1 receiver you think you can be. I mean, that's just being real. And it might help, if you play a fucking a preseason game and do some training camp action. I'm just saying. So overall, I mean, it wasn't just Kyle Lim's fault. I mean, the third down conversions, the miscommunications on the passing routes, a whole lot of other things. And then, Eli and the receivers early on, we couldn't stop Victor Cruz. He was just going off. And then second half, the defense tightened up, which was good. So defensively, the defense played their asses off, just like they have been all year. And, they obviously get my game ball because they helped keep the 49ers in the game. And Eli was killing us here and there, but we was getting pressure on Eli. We was hitting him. We sacked him 6 times. And so we was getting in his face, but the one bread and butter that was getting us through the season was we was creating turnovers on defense and not turning over on, offense or special teams. And then today it was just like Sunday, it was just like the tables turned. I mean, we had those 2 turnovers and the Giants didn't turn the ball over. And then of course there was that late in the game, the fumble. I believe it was Ahmad Bradshaw, I could be wrong, but where he fumbled the ball, Niners recovered, then they ruled forward progress, which, I'm not trying to make excuses, but that was some fucking bullshit right there. And I don't know how that NFL has that set up, but I mean, there's some holes in that rule right there, and I feel personally that the NFL really needs to review that because that was a straight bullshit call right there. It was obviously could have been the difference in the game. But, I'm not just going to harp on that. It was a lot of things. Kyle Williams, the offense inefficiencies on third down, and just making stupid penalties, by anybody. So there you have it right there. And I could sit here and I could single-handedly point the finger at Kyle Williams, and that's easy. And he could, you know what? Fuck it. He is the main reason why he lost the game. I mean, look at it. Both his fumbles cost us 10 points. He wasn't the only reason why he lost, and that's why I pointed out those other things. But I can't sugarcoat it. He was the main reason. He was the main reason why we lost. So, there you have it. Again, I'm definitely not disappointed. It was a great season, and, at least I think, when we beat the Saints, I think that validated the 49ers as we're back, and that you haters, you motherfucking haters are going to have to take this serious. And there's nothing, barring that, we have a fucked up offseason acquisitions or lose some key players or have some injuries, there's not a fucking thing y'all could do about it. And that's real. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got about the game. A heartbreaker. It just brought back memories of the 90 NFC title game. A field goal killed us at the end. And I'd rather my team be going to Indianapolis than going to Honolulu. How many, out of 100 times, how many times would you really say that? And again, Niner Empire, we have nothing to be ashamed of. Great year, great season. The defense, the defense looked great. The special teams was outstanding. The offense, I just think we're like a piece or two away from taking it to the next level. We got to get another wide receiver. We can't keep depending on Vernon Davis to keep bailing us out. Michael Crabtree, he's going to have to work extra hard this offseason, for us, at least for me, to take him seriously. Because these past 3 years, even though, he kind of brought it on towards the end of this season, I still need to see more. I still need to see more. And the postseason was a chance for Crabtree to shine and take it upon himself to be like, hey, this is my moment, this is my time. I'm going to show all y'all what I'm about. And he didn't do it. He didn't do it. But Niners as a team, we didn't get the job done against the Giants. And we both wanted it, but again, like a lot of people have been saying, you can't replace experience. And obviously, the Giants have that experience. This team has been there before, and they know what it takes, to get to that next level. And that's, this is a learning process for the 49ers, but I'm holding my head up high. So again, congratulations, Giant fans. With the exception of some of you fucking trolls, like I said, take the crow and shove it up your ass, and have a Coke and a smile and just shut the fuck up. Niner Empire, that was a tough one, but again, it's been a great ride. And one of the great things that I got out of this, especially in the postseason, like after we played the Saints, was seeing guys like JD or King of FTP after the Saints game making their videos and just seeing like the unbelief and the excitement on their faces was just priceless. And another thing that's priceless is there's a lot of people in the Niner Empire, that obviously aren't as old as I am. See, I've been through the dynasty days, but there's some of us in the Empire that hasn't. So this is, for some of them, this is like new territory for them. And to see them, be really thrilled and excited about this, as a longtime Niner fan, it gets me right here and it puts a smile on my face. So I'm not only proud of the 49ers as a team this year, I'm very proud of the Niner Empire. We bought it this year, And it was like I was saying in the off season when I did my my little Rapture 49 video. I don't know if some of y'all remember it, but it was awesome. I mean, it was great. I said, you know, that look out. That was a sign that we was gonna come out and we was gonna handle our business. And of course, I was talking shit just for the hell of it. But I really didn't expect us to go 13-3 and get to the NFC title game. I really didn't. I mean, Night of Empire, we would have taken it, but you know, we still would have been optimistic. I mean, we would have been optimistic, but you know, I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of the Empire, and I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. I don't know if I'm going to do like a season in review or, you know, talk more about the Niners. I might, you know, maybe talk about the Super Bowl or get some stuff off. Hell, maybe I'll even talk about the Knicks. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure y'all be seeing me soon. So, Night of Empire, you know, I'm really proud of you guys, man. You know, much love, man. You know, good job representing this year. One team, one family, one goal. There's always next year. We'll do it. Late.